Afternoon and namaste all. Warm welcome to all the participants who had joined here through Zoom and via Facebook Live. Today we are menstruation and share menstruation practices in Cambodia and Sri Lanka. So every girl, woman, and trans man deserves dignity during menstruation because it is not by choice but by nature. So dignified menstruation is beyond like destroying of hearts, distribution of free menstrual products, or education on hygiene or stigma or taboo. And dignified menstruation is a holistic approach to shift attitude, behaviors, and practices of an individual. It is for human rights and empowerment. So, dialogue of dignified menstruation is crucial in this what we call modern period. Today, we are here to discuss dignified menstruation and menstruation practices of Sri Lanka and Cambodia. So, here my name is Pooja Shrestha, and I'm Vice President of Hamid Dazbhai. Hamid Dazbhai is a member of Global South Coalition of Dignified Menstruation. As Hamid Dazbhai works for gender equality, especially on engaging men and boys to end gender-based violence, and we are as a member of this coalition because we believe that there is an important role of men and boys to end all forms of violence related to menstruation. And also, I like to share that this Global South Coalition for Dignified Menstruation calls to join each of us as partner member, individual, if you are working around dignity during menstruation. As I said today, here we are to discuss on dignified menstruation and share menstruation practices in Cambodia and Sri Lanka. So here I would like to introduce our speakers, Jasmiya Nayanan from Sri Lanka and Shrek Kaus from Cambodia. Welcome both of you. Meanwhile, I also like to request all the participants to write your queries related to this topic on the chat box. We will try to address it as much as possible. So, talking about Jasmiya Nayanam. So, Jasmiya Nayanam, please correct me if my pronunciation is wrong. So she has been one of our youth group members representing the Kilaktin Akal. It's called as Light of Eastern Province team. At this moment, she is joined with Sri Lanka Teaching Services in Batikola. However, she is effectively functioning with her team and doing her community work with her colleagues. She has completed her degree program from Eastern University of Sri Lanka in Sociology in the Faculty of Arts and Culture. Recently, she got the awards from Kikalin Akal Youth Group, and her effort, dedication, and for the, she got the award for her dedication, commitment, and her effort to the community. So during her university life, she was the student representative from, she was also a student representative, and she has done a numerous research, and she has a very long history of work experience with child funding organizations. Welcome, Jasmine and Nena. And welcome to Shrek Coach. She is from Cambodia. She is a very young social activist, and she is our young youth member representing from Cambodia. She is also an English teacher and has done a numerous social work in her community. Shrek Coach, please welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So while talking about menstruation practices, so in Nepal, the first menstruation is a turning point for every young woman, girl, or transgender. So a large part of Nepalese considers menstrual blood as dirty, contaminated, and impure. Girls, especially in the western parts, they are then to the mud house, especially termed as chowpadi. Even when I was first menstruated, I was sent to a very dark room for 12 days, even though I was born in, capital city of Nepal, and from capital city of Nepal, and I belong from a very, from a urban city. So, and similarly, other girls are often isolated in chambers or specific corners of their house. So, through people, I mean, girls and women throughout their life, they face many restrictions related to touchability, food, participation, and mobility. So, women are not allowed to enter, temples, or not allowed to touch animals and even plants, and even certain foods are not allowed to eat during the time of menstruation, or say they are prohibited to eat certain kinds of foods. So similarly, we would like to hear from Jasmia and Shrey to share their experiences, or say menstruation practices, taboos related to myths and restrictions that are practices in Sri Lanka and Cambodia. So I would like to request Jasmia uh, to share the experiences from Sri Lanka. Jasmia, open to you.
I think she forgot to unmute.
Hello, Jasmia, your mic is on mute.
Hello, are you here?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can
Yeah,
hear you
hello.
clearly. Yes.
Hi, I am Mrs. Jashmia Naina from Sri Lanka. Thank you for your brief introduction for me. Happy to see you both. And we can see menstruation dignified in Sri Lanka. We can see the period, so menstruation is a normal biological progress. However, it remains a globally stigma. The periods of menstruation is a natural and health part of the woman reproductive health. But even menstruation is still considered to be dirty and impure. It's a matter, be a taboo or stigma, which is called not touchable or untouchable. We can see around the world, the period taboos and resorts of limitations prevent the girls from managing their periods with their dignity. Throughout these days, women are facing many restrictions related to touch, food, participant, and any other mobility. Well, menstruation is a topic in still is a societal taboo. In our society, we have the many restrictions in religious, social, and cultural ways. Uh, in these days, many deprivation in social and cultural activities. Even though we can't participate in many festivals and rituals, even we can enter in the pujaram. It's our main restriction. We can enter temple, and we can do any other divine activities during the menstruation. especially our Hindu peoples. Girls are restricting touching the holy books. For example, we can touch Mahabharatam, Gita, and even Muslim girls do not touch the Quran during their periods time. If during menstruation, woman not allowed touch anything relate the God, be involved and any religious activities. For example, if I menstruation, I don't have a fasting. Is any other religious activities? Throughout, the women are not allowed enter the any homes. I feel my personally the menstruation, if I menstruation, we touch it, we cannot touch some trees. For example, basils or neem or battle, it's a main plants we can't touch. Even some remote areas and rural areas, women's she if she consume milk or dairy products, the cow will not give any more milk. It's a, uh main specific isolated corners for the girls. In Tamil families, especially North or East province, girls have a Pupunida Niratu Villa when they begin a menstruation, first menstruation. They celebrate that day. They call the Pupunida Niratu Villa. Then many, but they they may never have some explain to them what is the menstruation. They never explain her and how they are the bodies will change the during puberty. Even I was in my first period, I don't know what is the period or menstruation. When I see the blood, I trying to fear. So sometimes many rural area girls, they don't have their knowledge about the menstruation. So they thinking the overthinking and fear about the first menstruation blood for the first period. It's a main issue in our Sri Lanka. Most important thing, our 66% of girls in Sri Lanka are not aware of the menstruation until they are menstruating. Even our communities often hold related the can physical or emotional well-being. I am a teacher. I can see our school students have many disturbance in their educations. Such taboos and misinformation affect her medical hygiene, menstruation hygiene of women and their girls. They are undermine the gender inequality. We can see it leads discrimination, causing women and work and other opportunity in their lives. Many schools and don't have necessary facilities in Sri Lanka for the menstruations. For example, some schools don't have toilet facilities, and what they don't have a water supply. They have not disposal to sanitary napkins in throughout the women's discussions for this type of sorry this type of
I think her network has some problems. So, meanwhile, um, I would like to request say Shrey to share some experiences, menstruation practices, myths, taboos, and kind of restrictions on menstruation practices of Cambodia.
Okay. So first of all, here is good evening or good night. It's almost there. So I hope that I speak and you can understand my pronunciation. Yes, let me talking about mentorism in Cambodia, and I will share my own experience, and I will compare the first time that I got up into mentorism the first time. I can say that I was born at the Uroy area, so I can say that it is lack of mentorism lesson of that. So when just suddenly heard that, it really make me embarrassed and make every girl. So it can see the secret story for each other. So uh, I didn't know nothing about mentorism at the first time when it is the first time of me, and uh, at the first in mentorism by myself. If I'm talking about stigma, yes, I can say that um, all the girl, even though there's some girl, they still think that it is really nasty, it is really gross for their own blood and to show with the others. It is really concerned with that because what I heard for the first time for my I can say from my mother, they said that when you have mentorism, please stay away from the boys. And one more thing, if we're talking about taboo, yes, actually that is a lot of in my country either. When we have mentorism, we cannot eat like fish. We cannot eat something like too much spicy, too much salt. They said that really affect about our mentorism, especially for Ristic. They said that for the girls who during mentorism they cannot take a live plants to sit in our bed. They said that is not you cannot sit like that. That is our uh what is that traditional. They think like that. This really make me a mess either. Why I cannot sit on the life plans during I have mentorism. And one more thing, when uh, the girl who have mentorism, they cannot uh, take a long bus. They said that when you have that, when you take a long bus, you will affect your health and your mentorism either. And one more thing, uh, what is it? We're talking about district. It may be concerned. This is what I heard that when you have mentorism, if you have a partner, you cannot have that. You understand, right? Have that. Yes, yes. Yes, this is what I have been through. But I can say that mentorism at the rural area in the city a little bit complete. I can say that different because at a rural area there are lack of like nanyasan, right? Said that the lack of like a toilet, and if we have the toilet is completely dirty, and we cannot, and most of the girls are really shy, really ashamed of that. They said that when they have that, they change everything, especially hormone, their feelings. So during on that, it really had to know that somebody have that, because for in my country when they have that they need to hide, even though that the brother, even though that uh the brother or father. So it really secret story for me as a girl in Cambodian. Yes, this is what I have in my countries. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Shreya. So I would like to request to continue with the Jasmia. And it was
Yes.
very interesting to know about the Cambodia practices. You know, it is very similar to this Nepalese, Sri Lankan, and Indian practices. Like you cannot touch the live plants, you cannot take the very long bath. And yes, I would like to request yes, Jasmia ma'am to continue her experience because her
Yeah, okay.
internet has been interrupted.
Education. Yeah, okay. Uh, just a minute. In our schools, and we can see the education's department and many students not providing the proper school transport service in rural areas. I am working in remote areas. Many girl students not providing proper school transport service for long distance to going schools. These situations, girls childs motivating drop out their schools. Many rural area vulnerable girls drop out their schooling. Even in UNICEF report says 37% of girls miss at least 1 or 2 days of school in Sri Lanka each month due to their periods days. So this is a very big uh, uh, restrictions in for their studies. They don't have any other facilities uh, in their studies. Sometimes they neglecting and potential in their studies. In our government sponsors in schools, there was a 41 percentage of ability of soaps and only 1% of principals and 6% of teachers start the emergency sanitary pads where we are the available. Now the promotion of menstruation health medical facilities in females toilets resting areas in the public places, for example bus stands and the railway stations. uh, about the 52 percentage Sri Lanka general population is women, and they only get access to affordable menstruation hygiene products in availability. Sometimes such a heavy tax in the pads. Over the view 2019, the tax is 63 percentage. 2020, they reduced 52 percentage. But it's a very cost from rural area women's. Even uh, government is discussing the possibility of providing free sanitary napkins to 8 lakh girl students in grade 5 to A level by the end of 2021. But we can see only 30% of Sri Lanka women could afford this sanitary napkin in Sri Lanka. In our eastern or western war affected places, areas, women, the girls child to utilize the pads. Still they are using old clothes now. I already tell you they use their mom old saris. Throughout the women's 60 women in our community hold local culture beliefs, taboos, and related to the menstruation. It can be many barrier in their life, including we must arise awareness on the challenges women and girls face due the menstruation, and to highlight solution to address those challenges. The social stigma associated with menstruation can undermine gender equality by having open dialogue about the menstruation. We must open what is the menstruation, what are the doing and the hygiene, medical activities. We can provide the health attitude and the safe practice in hygiene and sanitations. It's important to recognize in our society the menstruation at not only women and girls but also men. They must including the men. Including men or boys in conversation about menstruation will help create a safe and support environment for women in our areas. In our education system must promoting the ideas of periods being a natural, it's a healthy, it's a one of part of our woman's reproductive system. However, due the culture of silence and shame surrounding our people openly discussing in the menstruations, so we must educated our girls childrens or women. If 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 educated, we can improve our dignifications of menstruations. That's all.
Thank you, Jasmia. So,
Thank you.
hearing both the experiences from Cambodia and Sri Lanka, it's very similar to Nepal as well. So, like, when I first, after marriage, when I had my menstruation, I was not allowed to stay with my husband. My mother in law told me that if you conceived in this time, you will have a child like a devil, which is very impossible because during the time of menstruation, you cannot conceive. This is scientifically a failure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a myth. So this kind of myths, practices, it's all around the world, and women, girls, and transgender faces these kinds of inhuman, say like inhuman practices all around the world. So I would like to ask Shreya, like as you have told about the myths related to it. So how are the activists or NGOs or the frontline workers and the government, are working to change these community attitudes
Oh. Uh, oh. So now, okay.
was there some kind of problem?
Actually, I cannot catch your question because you cut off
Okay,
immediately.
so as you
Yeah.
have shared about the some kind of malpractices in Cambodia,
Mhm.
so we would like to know, what are the activists, NGOs, frontline workers, or governments of Cambodia, doing or working to change community attitudes about isolation and other taboos relating to menstruation.
So your question is about math malpractice, right?
And what are the government doing, or what are the frontline workers, what are the NGOs doing in Cambodia to,
Uh-huh.
change the attitude of people, change the
So,
mix around.
mhm. So actually, we're talking about that. Actually, just only this is just only our traditional that is actually now it doesn't have anymore, doesn't have, but before we have like that. So when like example, like I give you example, like when you have mentorism, you cannot take the lift. The light plan and sit under that because it will affect your affect our mentorism. Actually, they didn't give the specific detail about what affect all that. Actually, they said, this is from our traditional, so you cannot do that, you cannot do this. But actually, right now, uh, I can say that we have no more about that. Actually, just only depend on our health. If you cannot, for example, if you can't eat sour food, yes, just give it. But I first time I can share that the first time I cannot eat I cannot drink coffee because when I drink coffee, my my mentorism will cut off immediately, will stop coming immediately. But when I change my mind, I want to know that this is the real reason why I cannot drink that. So I drink it again, and this time I tell myself that I can do it, and I think that it's not affect on that. So later on, when I try it again and again, so it become normal. So when my mentorism coming, I can eat and drink, yes, whatever that I want. But actually, when I heard at the first time when I come when my uh, mentorism my first time they said that you cannot eat like a selfish like a sour what, yeah, yes, that's it. I think that's it. So yes, this is our traditional, but actually it's a little bit far from that right now. The problem just only hygiene, the problems, the big problem.
So you
Because
want to say that the problem in Cambodia is much more related to menstrual hygiene than taboos and myths related to menstruation.
yes, because that I can say this because of myself either. I just only change it a little bit. Now I mostly use washable pad, so it make me feel better than before, and I feel safe on my body, the whole body. That's why. But mostly there are the mostly the women in my country, they don't think about that, even though that we have social media talking about the effect of we use of plastic for our mentorism, but mostly they don't care. Yes, that's why that the hygiene, and mostly they said, oh, 2 times you need to change it, but actually sometimes one and the whole day. So this is really, really dangerous for the woman. This is a problem. Yes.
Okay, so thank you, Shrey. Yes, moving to Jasmia. Yes, as you have told that, the problems that you have shared is very similar to Nepal. In Nepal, also there are like huge number of dropouts, female student dropouts from school, due to menstruations, and I mean, myths and practices are very similar. So, what is the government doing, or NGOs or frontline workers, to change this community attitudes about isolations and other taboo relating to menstruation? Your mic is mute.
If our government is serious about finding sustainable solution for these issues, they association with many NGOs, some NGOs in World Visions and UNICEF, and working with child funds, some NGOs association to find the sustainable solution for the dignified menstruations. They educated the schools wise their students the menstruation, dignified menstruations, about the programs. And we schools wise our teachers educated the girl students what is the menstruations, what are the what are the medical issues in their menstruations, what are the taboos in the uh, in our society. We educated in our sorry we educated in our society, but in our government do some researchers in war affected area. They find out the general inequality related the menstruation dignified discriminations also. Sometimes the menstruation discrimination cause for the violence in sexual or gender based violence. It may be a physical, sexual, political violence. The most of communities face the largest barrier in of the menstruation and health management. So government see this type of problems, and she provide sanitary napkins, and she will give water supplies for the remote area schools. And the government give some give us some sanitary napkins for rural area girls. This type of activities do our students, and NGOs will help to promoting the discriminations of menstruations, what type of violence, what are the type of violence in our the society, and they research and they give a report. Okay. Is it okay? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmia. Yes, thanks for
Okay.
sharing. Actually, as we are talking about dignified menstruation, as we all know that dignified menstruation is not just about distribution of free pads or destroying of hordes. So it's an holistic approach to shift attitudes, behaviors, and practices,
Behaviors.
yes, of an individual as well. So because and it has an very impact in the mental health, on education, as you have told,
Yeah.
as you have shared that dropouts rates of female scholars are very higher, and overall empowerment. So in
Yeah.
Nepal, so you're talking about in Nepal also, like when you had your period, you are termed as untouchable. In Nepal, you said is like timi nachune bhayo. That means you became untouchable. So we really need a holistic approach to shift our attitude, behaviors, and practices. This is a very inhuman kind of practices. So as an social activist, can you please light on why does dignified menstruation urgent for today across all sectors? Can I repeat my question if you have confusion?
Okay, can you repeat it again, please?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, are you here? Hello?
Yes, yes. Did
Yeah.
you heard my, I mean, did you have any confusion in my question?
Sorry, yeah. Sorry. Hello? Are you
Hello?
repeat the question? Are
Yes,
you repeat the
sure,
question? Oh,
sure, I will. I think you have some internet connection problem. So,
yeah,
what,
network
what
connection.
I was talking about is like, as dignified menstruation is not only about the distribution of free packs or destroying of pots or like that. So it is a holistic approach to shift attitudes and behaviors as well.
Yeah.
And it also impact on overall health, empowerment, and education of an woman or a girl. So being a social activist, uh, mm, can you please light on like why does dignified menstruation urgent for today across all the sectors? Your mic is mute, Jasmine, so we can't hear you.
Oh, I think that she has a little bit problem with internet connection.
Yeah, it seems he has
Yeah.
a problem with this. So, um, similar question to you as well. So, being a young and female social activist, so in your opinion, like, why do you think dignified menstruation is urgent for today across all the sectors, like health sector, education sector, and all the sectors?
If we're talking about mentorism in our government lesson, I can say that in my generation, they combine that lesson at not secondary school. It's not high school. It starts from a secondary school already, meaning grade 7. Actually, we have grade 1 until grade 12 at high school, at yes, public school. So it means that in that my generation, almost girl at around 15 and 16 they got mentorism, but now you can see that girl actually just only 14, 13, and they start mentorism already. So that's why our government in my country they start combine the lesson talking about mentorism or talking about woman change. Now they start in the primary school. I mean, they start from grade 5, grade 4, grade 6. Yes. So I can say that now we had a lot of change. It means that girl and boys start to know about mentorism, how their body change, not just only the girl but also the man either. And one more thing, in my country actually we have a lot of NGO that talking about health and talking about hygiene either, but because of girls at the rural area, they still keep their silent. They never talking about that. They say that that story really make them ashamed. That's why even though that the lesson teach us about that, but actually when they show up about that, they make really shy. They don't want to ask because of the shy. They don't want to share about their effect of mentorism. They don't want to share because they say other man, the boy. And actually, I can say that between boy and girl in my society, girl actually always absent in the class during of the first period because their stomach really get pain, and some of those need to go at the hospital because that is really getting worse because of the lack of know about mentorism. And actually, even though that we have some NGO go to share the knowledge about mentorism or the other talking about health and hygiene about that, but actually some girls are really shy even though that we just only learn about that, but they think that it's not important. Actually they think that it's not important. They don't know about what is effect of lack of hygiene of that. Actually this is the lack of uh, uh, the thing about mentorism actually. And I think that it's really important to know about that. Actually I am a girl either because if we don't take care, mean that we don't notice about our blood or our period, we don't, some women didn't notice about it because some man is it look like normal. I mean that if you don't know what is in normal blood is abnormal blood actually, but most of the girls they don't care about that. What they care, it means that when they are go to hospital during that mentorism, this is really bad. Yes.
Okay, yes. So, as said, youths are the pillars of nation, and you yourself is a young youth activist. So youths are, primary change agents. So in your opinion, what will be the role of youths for breaking the barriers? And also would like to hear, what are the youths of Cambodia doing on these issues? Because your experience will be very helpful for other nations as well.
Mm, in my opinion, it start from, I think that it start from me first. If I got enough got enough information about that and I start to share with my friend, and then I start to talking about what is affected of mentorism. And actually I have some men friend either, so now I feel a little bit stop too shy of that to talking about that. I want a man to understand how much it pain, how much it difficult for women during mentorism either. So I feel right now, even though I'm not a doctor, but I actually have confidence to talking about that. So I think that it start from me. If I have enough ability, I mean not enough, but I have committed to share about that. I mean that I can ask from the other NGO to cooperate, like go to mission at the rural area and then start to share about my 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 experience about mentorism. And because I can say that I have I can say that is a bad experience in the past on my first mentorism, and now I know how to change it. I know how to control it, how to make it hygiene. So I can say that it should be start from me first, that change it, and then let my young generation at the next we start change it either. Yes.
So, like, so you have been in coordinating with many youth activists as well. So, what are the youth forums or youth clubs or of Cambodia doing on these issues?
Pardon me. Can you make it
I
clear?
mean, the youth activists of Cambodia, are they doing any campaigns or advocacy campaigns on these issues?
Your internet again.
Dignified menstruation.
Actually, your internet
Hello.
is working really slow. I cannot get your question
So
actually.
okay, due to my internet, okay, I would like to repeat my question once again. So, what are the youth activists or say, youth club, adolescents of Cambodia doing on this dignified menstruation issues? We would like to hear the experiences so that, we can also learn from the Cambodia.
So you mean that when during that
Like advocacy campaign.
campaign or mission, right? Uh, did you cut the question? Just me, yeah. Mm. Can you hear me? Uh, uh, you back?
Yes, I'm back again. I think the internet is playing hide and seek. So
Yeah.
yes, actually, okay, we would like to hear what are the youth generation of Cambodia doing on these issues of dignified menstruation, like any campaigns, advocacy campaigns, or influencing activities. So if you know, you can share some of them so that the experiences and the information will be very helpful to other nations as well.
Oh, listen to session. Did someone asking to join? Huh?
So, okay, we'll come to you later. By that meanwhile, we will like to yes, Jasmia, welcome once again.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah,
internet is
thank you.
also playing hide and
The
seek with
internet
you.
connection is the
Yeah,
problem. Yeah,
see,
okay.
sure. And yes, we were talking about, about your opinion regarding why this dignified menstruation has not been, an urgent issue in today's across all the sectors. So we really like to hear from you on this issue. I mean, this matter.
Sorry. Hello? Hello?
Hello. So as we were
Hello? Are you
talking.
here? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, good.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So
Tell me.
yes. So as okay. Okay. So can you hear me clearly, Jasmia?
Yes,
Hello.
tell me. Yes, tell.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So
Hello?
as we
Yeah,
as we
okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so as we were talking on dignified menstruation, and it's not only about distribution of free pads, it's an as an
Yeah,
holistic
okay.
approach. So we will
Yes.
like to hear about,
Yeah.
any NGOs, frontline workers, or government working to change
Yeah.
attitude about isolation and other taboos related to menstruation in Sri Lanka.
Yeah. Uh, we must working our rural people. We work associated with many NGOs and government. They educated the gender equality and taboo and stigma and the shame light solutions in about the violence. The government finding the some solutions in our rural area women's menstruation problems, and some NGOs educated their mental and physical wellness about the menstruations. And some family, if I have a violence, domestic violence in during the menstruation periods. So if I have any cases, the Sri Lankan police and child fund NGOs research the main category in these topics. We must educated girls and boys. It's including men and boy convocation about the menstruation will help to create a supported environment. We must educated girls and boys. We must raise the awareness, the challenges of women's due the menstruation. Just one thing, functionalism, and we do many category in our uh, areas. Some solution address those their challenges. So we will government and some NGOs do this type of activities.
Okay, so thank you, Jasmia.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes,
Okay.
yes. So government, so government are also doing some research work, uh, and they have some, as you have said, they have some strategies and plans. So what are the youths
Yeah.
doing on these issues? What are the,
Some
yes.
youth clubs in we worked in volunteer in Viludu. If you know the Viludu organizations, some organizations, our organization Click in Agal team, and some youth are educated the students. They volunteer work the facilities in the during the menstruation, what is child abuse, and what are the violences in during the menstruation period. They educated to the students. Then if have any violence, we research, we go to, and uh, we research about the cases. We don't have any campaign, but we do the educated system in many youth working in research, and they go to schools and they go to educated in our students. This types of activities do our youth, but we don't have any company for dignified menstruation.
Really sad to hear that, youths, dignified menstruation has not been an urgent priority in most of the sectors. And so, as we came to the end, I would like to ask to uh, both of you, that what would be, what can be, or what would be the commitment for marking 8th December as Dignified Menstruation Day? On your opinion, on your opinion, what would be the commitment for marking 8th December as Dignified Menstruation Day?
However, while the menstruation is a global truth and normal and biological everywhere, we must educate to our rural areas, women and girls. Therefore, some
I think she's having an internet problem. Yes, and yes, the same question goes to you, Shrek.
So taboo stigma during their menstruation. When activities, it's a March 18. It's a date. It's a help to they know about the dignify the menstruation, and they will the conversation with others. What is the menstruation? They undermined their they don't have undermined their dialogues about the menstruation, and they promote their we can provide to many ideas to this March 18. So the whole world, we must know the March 18, and we work about the dignified the menstruation to all over the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, a dialogue is very necessary to combat, all forms of discrimination regarding menstruation. So same question goes to you, Shrey. So in your opinion, what would be the commitment for marking 8th December as Dignified Menstruation Day?
So for 8th December, right? Yes, if it would be great if we have commitment to make it happen. Actually, because as I am a girl, I really feel it, and I really want the man feel it either. And one more thing, I really want, if it could make it happen, it really the best chance to speed up about about mentorism actually. And one more thing, it would be great to promote about what is the affected of during mentorism either. And one more thing, it really make a woman to think it that mentorism is the priority thing that you need to think first as you are a woman. Yes, so that is the great, it is the best idea if we have that. Yes, yes, that's all.
Yes, thank you, Shrey. So as we are on the end of this discussion, So I would like to end this discussion saying that, as dignified menstruation is a matter of equality, we all need to start talking about it. All those restrictions are human right violations, and without breaking the taboo and building awareness for this urgent issues, equality will never be achieved. So thank you, Shrey, and thank you, Jasmia. And I also like to inform you all that this Global South Coalition for Dignified Menstruation is organizing a global summit on dignified menopause on 8 December 2021. So we would like to call for abstracts and solidarity partnership. All the details are mentioned on the Facebook page of Global South Coalition for Dignified Menstruation. And I would like to thank Global South Coalition for Dignified Menstruation and Radha Paudel Foundation for bringing us all together here, and all the guests and participants watching us via Facebook Live and through Zoom. And yes, let's all work to remove all the stigma and taboos related to menstruation. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you. Nandri Vanakkam.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.